Welcome to DivaSpeaks Relationships. Happy Soulful Sunday. How you doing out there? Yes, honey, the diva has snuck in on you on a Sunday. I didn't give you no notice. I didn't even extend the invitation. I just, popped up. Hello there. Yes. When the spirit hits the diva on a Sunday, I just got to come talk to you because somebody may need the encouragement today. So for those of you who will be under the sound of my voice, I want to thank you for tuning in to the hottest, grown, and sexiest podcast, as well as talk show out of the Queen City. You have arrived, and I thank you for tuning in. Are you okay today? Well, if you're not, guess what? I have a very special guest, and we are going to talk today. Yes, so I just kind of popped up where I popped up, and the spirit led you to this particular episode of Diva Speaks Relationships. I just want to say it is not by accident that you have arrived here. Do you understand me? You just tuned in to a relationship podcast. And the diva stays true to her brand. My name is Angela Porterreal. I am the diva of Diva Speaks Relationships. And if you are new to the podcast, why don't you go ahead and hit the subscribe button? Tell a couple of friends after the show that you enjoyed the conversation. And I want you to come back. You have another date with the diva. Now, it's the only dating I'm allowed to do because I'm a married woman, but you know what I'm saying. We could get together again. Yes, thank you for tuning in to Diva Speaks Relationships. My co-host and I want to talk to you today. I have Miss Ivory K here with me. I am on location at the Humble Thrifter out of Charlotte, North Carolina. You can find the Humble Thrifter on Instagram as well as Facebook. But she wants to be incognito today because she doesn't really want to talk about business. The spirit has led us to talk about relationships. So I'm going to respect my sister's wishes, and I'll leave that at that. If you did not know, Diva Speaks Relationships is being televised. You can find Diva Speaks Relationship Talk Show every second and fourth Friday night. I'm talking about on real TV, okay? Every second and fourth Friday night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please check your local listings for the actual channel. If you subscribe to Spectrum Cable, AT&T Uverse, or you have a Roku television, you have access to watch Diva Speaks Relationships Talk Show. Now, if none of that applies to you and you just have basic internet or Wi-Fi, you can stream my show live from the television station's website on that night. Now, my next show is airing this Friday night, and the subject is going to be, is it for sale? I'm not talking about your car. I'm not talking about real estate. I'm not talking about your gently used clothing and accessories. I'm talking about the hoo-ha, the meow. Is it for sale? And is there a relationship between the poo nanny and the pocketbook in today's relationship climate? Yeah, I'm going to talk about it on Friday night. So would you mark your calendars, set your clocks, and meet me on Access 21. Now, if you want to stream it live, it's tvaccess21.com is the website. You can also click on the video on demand section and catch up on any and all of the shows that Diva Speaks Relationship has already aired. So you guys ready? Are you ready, Miss Ivory K?
I am ready.
Oh, look, I can read. Hi, Mandy. The last show I was negligent at looking into the chat room, and I want to be cognizant of the people who took the time to actually come and listen to the show, right? So today we're going to be talking about what alignment looks like in your relationship during your season of restoration. And I want you to just sit and think about that for a moment. What alignment looks like in your relationship during your season of restoration. You know, Ivory, when we think about restoration, we think about something that is needing to, like you just said moments before the show, rest. You need to rest. Something has occurred or happened where you were probably all worked up or you were in overdrive mode. So you need to simply cease all activity and simply exist. Do you want to expand on that a little bit?
You know, restoration, the word is broken up into 3 parts. So with that, you take the word restoration, you have rest, restore, and ation. Now, ation goes at the end of vacation, staycation.
Oh.
So when you take the word rest, it's your resting place. In addition to your resting place, you take the word restore, as you're restoring in that resting place. And then you have restoration-ation, where you would see it in a relationship where 2 may go on a vacation to restore and to rest.
Okay.
The word restoration in the Webster Dictionary clearly tells us the action of returning to something.
I'm so sorry. That's the microphone, guys.
It's all good. We do that.
The way it just, wait a minute. The way, wait a minute.
Y'all gonna get all this raw. Look, all this.
And the microphone looks like a what? And it just kind of fell over like it wanted to rest. I'm so sorry. Okay, my sister, go right ahead. Back to the actual.
The actual definition of restoration is the action of returning something to a former owner, place, or condition. So you look at that word and what does it make you think of? What does restoration mean for you? Where are you in your relationship? Now, this may not be for everybody.
That's very true.
But for a lot of us, we are in a restoring place, whether it's fiance, marriage, boyfriend, girlfriend. People make up the breakup, so to speak. You hear those sayings. And if it's restorable, where are you in that restorable moment? Are you in the resting place? And you guys are just, okay, we're not talking about this anymore. We're not dealing with this anymore.
Right.
We've decided to just rest it. Because we're not getting anywhere. We're bumping heads.
And you know what? And you talk about rest, you know, that term, when you want to rest, talking about restoration, you know, most of the time, all of the time in the court of law, once both the defense and the prosecution,
what do they do?
I rest my case. You've presented all of the evidence.
Yeah.
You have explained your defense or your case.
Yeah.
There's nothing left to be said. I rest my case.
So before you can get to restoring, you've got to rest it. And I don't know what that looks like for everyone. You know, I can speak for my personal situation without telling the world all of my business, but as we decided, my significant other and I, to just rest it. We are bumping heads about something that it's not resolvable, you know, clearly because we're 2 different individuals.
Correct.
We're human beings, and we see things differently. How he sees out of his lenses and how I see out of mine.
It doesn't look the same.
It doesn't look the same, and sometimes we have to come to that agree to disagree. Cliche saying, but it's your resting place. Like, I love you too much to not rest with you.
Oh, one more time, please.
I love you too much to not rest with you. Not wrestle with you, but
rest. I love you too much
to not
rest with you. You know what? I am going to follow your lead, and I will say this. You know, hubby gets all very sensitive. He doesn't really like me talking about us. And I respect that. I get that. So if you happen to stumble across this particular episode, baby, I'm not talking our business. However, I've had to learn to put that into practice the hard way. The hard way, because just my makeup. And for those who don't know, that's one of the things I've always wanted to be. I just talked about a court of law. I started out my journey. I went to law school. Well, I was headed towards law school or whatever. I have so many credit hours, in my legal research and writing and all of that. I can argue a point to death and will not get exhausted. I've had to learn to rest with my husband. I've had to learn to put a pin on certain topics, because talking about it or forcing or attempting to try to force him to see my point of view or to see what I see only damages, number one, the relationship. It wears the both of us out, and we can't rest.
It's agitating.
It is.
It causes separation.
That part.
It causes you not to have peace, which comes with rest. So
how can I rest with you? Or how can my husband, or for those of you who are listening, how can your mate have rest when they have no peace?
Absolutely.
It just doesn't happen.
Doesn't go.
You know what else I was thinking too? You made a good point, and that was a very good illustration. When I think about alignment, I think of my vehicle. I think about when when your car is out of alignment, it will veer off to the side, which the car doesn't function or operate properly.
The way it should, in a straight line.
In a straight line.
The definition of alignment. In a straight line, or in a correct or appropriate relative position.
And what do? You have to take that car. Excuse me, audience. Miss Ivory K has poured me a glass of wine and on a bowl of strawberries. And since we're all family here, I'm sorry, I got to get into it.
Get into it.
But alignment is so important, even when it comes to your vehicles.
Absolutely.
And I think that our relationships are far more important than our vehicles. So what does alignment look like when you're in the restoration phase or season of a relationship that has experienced some chaos, some tribulation, and upset? What does it look like when the enemy was hell-bent on destroying your relationship? And now the two of you can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Alignment looks a lot like two individuals before they can do anything collectively, depending on your faith and your walk. And, in this journey, as I'm speaking with the Diva, we are both lovers and followers of Jesus Christ.
This is true.
Not to offend anyone. So alignment in my relationship with my significant other is that we need to be aligned with the heart of Christ, and being aligned with God's, heart, and understanding that he would want peace. He would want rest. He doesn't want us to fight. He wants us to be understanding. He wants what the things that we ask in prayer from our God are the same things that we're asking from our mate. And you cannot ask God to give you peace, give you rest, give you compassion, give you mercy, give you grace, and then you don't want to extend grace
to your partner.
To your partner.
I think,
so
you wait a minute, you may be stepping on some toes, Miss Girl. So let me ask you this. You just see, here we go. Here come my little messy self. So there may be someone who may tune into this a little bit later. In order to experience any of that, whatever has happened, to be open to forgiveness, before you can experience rest or restoration, one or the both of you are going to have to make an intentional decision to forgive whatever. And it doesn't always, guys, because I know sometimes when we talk about forgiveness in this, in the world that we live in today, it's always attached to cheating. It does not have to be about no damn cheating. It could be something as simple as making decisions without you, or making major purchases with the money that the two of you have earned together without consulting you. It could be a host of things, but if it has caused a fracture in the foundation of your relationship, then it's worth speaking about, addressing, and some level of forgiveness is required in order for you to finally get to the destination of resting in it, restoration. Do you agree, Miss Ivory?
I do agree. And as you guys are going through that process, whatever that looks like for people, don't forget your 3 A's.
What's that?
And you have acceptance of the part that you played.
Oh.
Acknowledgement, that I acknowledge that I've done something to hurt you. Accountability. You move forward to repentance and forgiveness.
I need you to repeat that. Seriously, you said in order for any of that to happen, we need the 3 A's. And the 3 A's are, for those of you who are listening: acceptance, acknowledgement,
accountability.
And accountability. That's a big word here on the show, accountability. So what you're saying is, you don't get to tell me to get over it. You need to acknowledge the part that you played, or I need to acknowledge the part that I played to get us here. And we both have to acknowledge how the actions of one another has caused the other one to feel and contributed to the season
of restoration.
No, how your actions contributed to the season of turmoil.
That's good.
I don't get to tell you, well, it wasn't that serious, babe. Get over it. Like you take everything too personal. No, that's see, that'll keep someone else in prison. It won't, because
mental prison.
Oh yes.
And it would make the other feel insignificant, not cared for. As if their voice is not important.
I was just getting to that. If you better start reading my mind, I'm a part of this new group of women. And that's one of the goals or missions of the group. Because a woman, especially women, I'm not discrediting or not thinking about our men, but that's one of the worst things you can do to a woman is make that woman feel as if her voice does not matter. Or what she says is irrelevant.
And remember, we live in a world where, women are still fighting for equality.
Right.
Black, white, indifferent, we're still fighting for equality.
Right.
We're fighting I have the same education, I want the same pay. Just those, what seems simple to us is what this world is dealing with. And then you take that and bring that into a relationship and, take into effect how people are raised and what they were taught, what examples did my significant other have, as a man, and etc. So when you take that into consideration, it's like, this is how we're getting to turmoil, because your vision of it and my vision of it are just not the same. We all look through different lenses, and that's where we come up with the word perspective.
Correct.
So in order for us to get back to being in alignment, you have to be in alignment with yourself. Think about going to a chiropractor. Your back is bothering you. You kind of to the side.
What is up with you and what you are on it, sis? I'm serious.
What you gonna do? Go get your back aligned,
right,
cracked, get it straight, get your mind aligned, whatever that needs to look like for you.
For you.
Your heart aligned, if that's through prayer, whatever it is that you serve, you worship, you spend time with, meditation. Because in order for you to be aligned with your spouse, you've got to be aligned with yourself.
You know what? Those are really good points. What else I want to add to the conversation is, you may be saying, well, you ladies, okay, this is some good content, but however, how do we begin the alignment? Establishing a common goal. Sometimes you just gotta ask the simplest question to put you on the path to healing the relationship, which is, the first question is,
Do we want this?
You better start reading my mind.
Do we want this?
We are not reading from a script.
No, we're not.
Do you want this? How much does it mean to you? What are you willing to do? What are we willing to do to get to where we need to be? Are we, the two of us, collectively and separately, are we committed to the success of our relationship? You gotta ask that question.
I'll make it personal for myself and
Right.
say that for me and my significant other, what we did is he asked me, Ivory, what are your commitments to fixing this situation? And I had to give him that. And then he gave me his commitment to fixing. You hit it on the nail. What's your commitment to it? That's the only way we're going to get to the rest of the restoration.
That's so true.
Because we had to we literally just this past weekend, as the weekend is coming to a close, decide, what are you willing to commit to? How much does it mean to you?
You know what? You also have to be committed to seeing things through, that understanding that whatever fractured your relationship didn't happen overnight. So restoring the relationship may take a little bit of time.
Absolutely.
But you cannot despise the small steps or the days of small beginnings on your path to restoration. You need to be committed to the process and see it through to the other side. And that's you can get your answer initially, but their actions will actually show you just how committed they are to staying in this thing with you. You know, this world is so crazy, Ivory. You got to, at this point, with so much lust, jealousy, hatred. People are waiting to take your place. You know what, sis? It's not even about that sometimes. Sometimes I am seeing they don't even want what you got. They just don't want you to have it. That part. I'm going to say it again for those who may be under the sound of my voice a little bit later on. You know, this world that we live in is so infected with hate and jealousy and just dark hearts. It's not always about that man wanting to destroy your home, sir. It's not always about that woman wanting your man, sis. They just don't want to see you and him together. They just don't want to see the two of you together. Because, see, let me tell you something what Bishop Jakes taught me a long time ago. The devil ain't fighting his own. That's number one. Number two, sometimes you can just be so into what you got going on in your own little bubble that you take for granted what other people see. Other people see more potential and God's anointing on you, your relationship, and your life than you do. You take it for granted because you simply live in it and you exist in the relationship. But do you know the enemy can see, and his little soldiers see, the power that you as a couple possess? And it's like sis told me earlier, a lot of people want your spot until they understand what it takes for you to stay there. So you don't allow people to come in and destroy what you and your mate, partner, or spouse are building or have built, because number one, they may not even want it. They don't want neither one of you. They just don't want you together, or they're thinking that they can take one of the other's spot, and they're not built for this. I preach this all the time, Ivory. Protecting not only your peace, but your relationship. You know, we got to get serious about the business of protecting our relationships. I need everybody who is serious about keeping your family and your marriage and your relationship together. I need you to think of it almost as if guarding your home. If you needed to go and purchase a weapon in the event that someone breaks into your home, that you can defend your home and your family at all costs. Well, you know what? I need you to think of your relationship like that, because the enemy, honey, he is after families. He comes to kill, steal, and destroy. And let me tell you something, for those of you who may be dealing with outside influences and distractions, let me tell you how you can know it's the enemy. If something or someone or a set of circumstances has come into your life like a flood, it could be a group of friends, it could be a friend, it could be a situation. Here's how you know it's from the enemy: when it starts to erode your relationship. When the communication between you and your spouse surrounding this particular situation, when the communication starts to break down, when there's tension in the relationship, when you are fighting constantly, then you need to pump the brakes and say, wait a minute, something ain't right here. Because I know that God is the giver of good things. God is not the author of confusion. And I know the word tells me that the enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy. And once he is successful in his efforts, because they work overtime over there, he doesn't allow his people to rest. They have no more use for you, your family, your spouse, or anything. They drop you like dead flies. They flee.
Their job is done.
Their job is done.
Because remember, you can't steal or destroy until you kill it first.
Well, for dramatic purposes, I need you to repeat that, please, ma'am.
Remember, you cannot steal or destroy without killing it first. See, now when you got spouses, and remember, we are back to back. And
Correct.
The reason why we face back to back is so we can both be outwardly ready for war. We have on our armor, and we're going to fight the world.
Correct.
So as we're back to back, you remember that man is your head.
He is.
If there's any influences that would knock him out of alignment, we're going to go back to that word, then it's killed his spirit. Now it can steal his marriage, relationship, whatever that status is for many people, because everyone has a different status, and then ultimately destroy. But before we get to destroy, remember, we serve a God that is so magnificent that he can come right in and start to restore. But That's only how committed, as you said earlier, Diva.
What is that?
You two are. You got to be committed.
You have to be committed.
To the process.
You have to be committed to the process. Just like you're just committed to your man or your woman, you have to be committed to the process. You know what I just thought of? I thought of something that my mama told me a long time ago, and it's science. Actually, when you want to kill something, and I think of it because, okay, so the Diva got like roots in the Mississippi Delta. So
come on, Diva.
If you know anything about the Mississippi Delta, a lot of it is rural. So growing up, even to this day, I'm not afraid of snakes. I'm talking about real snakes. I'm not being figurative or symbolic or anything like that. At a young age, I mean, we used to keep tools because we had a massive garden, on our property. So there were holes, and I'm not talking about women. There were actually garden tools.
Correct.
Yeah. So there were actually tools, that you could kill a snake with. But in the event that I couldn't get to it, I needed to know how to kill a snake like instantly. You know what I was taught? If you want to kill a snake with no problems, you strike him in the head. You kill him by what? Attacking the head. So when the enemy is coming after your relationship, most of the time, now this is not absolute, understand that, but most of the time, if he's not attacking the most vulnerable between the two of you, he's going after that man. And some of you women will know exactly what I'm talking about. When that man starts getting a little bit too quiet and he's a little bit too distant, and he's not touching you the way that he used to touch you. And again, this is not always about cheating. However, some of you know that Our men go out into this world and they're dealing with a lot of different things that they don't even communicate to us. Sometimes even in the best of relationships, because they want to keep that mess outside of the door when they walk through the door of their home. But the enemy is attacking him outside of that home, which is why we stress the importance of you being a man's peace. Why do you think the world is so cruel to our men? Because if he can wear him down, it's almost, the process is similar to demonic possession. And I don't want to get into the paranormal. I don't want to scare nobody. But anyway, one of the things before a demon can actually possess your body, they have this period where they literally oppress you. They wear you down. They make you feel hopeless and in despair. And if you're fighting with that man all the time, so there's hell outside the door, there's hell when he come inside the door, the enemy is literally chipping away at that relationship, and he's moments away from being successful. And I think sometimes that is the part that we fail to keep in the forefront of our mind when we think our man or our women, the women, are just being difficult. Like, wait a minute, I need to see this for what this is. My man being a little bit too different. I don't know this person. I can't really fellowship and connect with this person because this person.
We're out of alignment.
Oh,
we are out of alignment. So what are we going to do?
What do you suggest we do? But before you give us your suggestion, I want to welcome everybody that is tuned in to DivaSpeaks Relationships podcast. I was about to say the talk show. Thank you for tuning in on this soulful. Is that the wine talking? Soulful Sunday. We are talking about right now what alignment looks like in your relationship during your season of restoration. And for those of you who are existing in a 100% perfect relationship, save this podcast for when the enemy attacks your relationship and come back to it. You may find it a little bit more useful at that time. Until then, this is for the people who are going through some real stuff. This is for the people that can identify that even when you loving your man or you loving your woman and you giving 100%, that you know that the enemy could come in at any time, any given point in time.
Absolutely.
None of us are exempt from life's challenges, life happening, and the enemy has his eye on you, especially if you halfway living right.
Don't do that. Don't live right. Don't be too happy.
Oh,
Don't be too
wait
happy.
a minute. What?
Don't be too happy.
Why?
Don't appear too happy.
You know what that attracts?
Huh.
I had to learn that the hard way. Can I talk about it, Miss Ivory? Can I talk about it?
Talk about it.
Can
Diva.
I talk about it?
Talk about it, Diva.
I had to learn the hard way. And again, I'm struggling with sharing and protecting or honoring my husband's wishes. So I'm walking a very fine line here. I don't want to get spanked. I'm just kidding. He doesn't hit me. It's a joke.
It's a joke.
Okay. The appearance of happiness bothers people who are not in alignment with the kingdom of God. I'm going to say that again.
Amen.
The appearance of happiness, and I wasn't faking it all. But when the wrong people see that you are genuinely happy and you are living your best life, do you know that it is something within those people that rise up and they start to have contempt for you? Shortly after I got married, I was already living, this is no secret, so I'm just saying, tell me if I'm going too far, by the way, like seriously. So if anybody knows anything about Charlotte, North Carolina, one of the more affluent areas of town to live in would be uptown. Most people around the country, you call that your downtowns. In Charlotte, we call it our uptown. So one of the gifts that my husband granted me after we got married was moving me into the most exclusive, luxurious high-rise in the city of Charlotte. Now, let me be clear, women. I was already doing my own thing. I literally lived one street over. I lived on 4th. When I met my husband moved me to 5th. So I don't want nobody to think that the diva didn't have her sugar honey iced tea together. I set the standard for how this man was supposed to come in and take care of me, bare minimum. I already lived uptown. So anyway, we moved to the View. We moved to the View. If you don't believe me, Google it. The View, VUE.
It's phenomenal.
It's a lot of extremely wealthy people that live there. We ran across a lot of the athletes, from our basketball team here to the Panthers. It's no big deal. We know how to act. We've seen a lot of things.
I bet.
A lot of parties. We know to keep our mouth closed. And I was just grateful. I was grateful to, number one, marry my husband. Extremely attracted to my husband. Extremely, like literally sexually attracted. My mama would say, "You so fast." That kind of attraction to my husband. Brand new marriage. Living in the place of my dreams. I'm just blessed, not trying to make nobody feel any type of way, but I am just, I would take pictures on the 8th floor by the baby grand piano. We would be, grilling at night, having glasses of wine with the neighbors, canoodling on our balcony on the 35th floor, just doing us, because at our age, because we're people of a particular age, we're not no young folk over here. We doing us. And I would post just what I thought was just moments, glimpses. You know me. I like to capture a moment.
The diva is a capturer.
I do. If you like the videos on my personal page, that's all you'll probably see is videos. I won't put up personal pictures of me and my family. But the videos, you can look at the videos all day long. I think that was the beginning. I sowed seeds. Unbeknownst to me, when the seeds came up, the harvest was for the enemy, because it made people feel a certain type of way.
Marriage and social media. That's another podcast.
It made people feel a certain type of way. From family members to people that were labeled as friends. People that were labeled. No. If you follow my podcast, when the diva gets like this, I want you to hear me. People that were labeled as friends. I'm still happy, but I just need you to understand my mindset at the time. To me, I'm grateful. I'm not boastful. I'm not arrogant. I'm not conceited. I was just
humble.
Just so grateful. So grateful. Like, dear God, I'm so grateful. Look at what this man is doing for me. Thank you, Jesus. He's everything I wanted. Look at how he's providing for me. This is what my conversation with God. Okay? And then, the rest of the story. Okay, let me tell you.
That were out of alignment.
Okay, labeled as friends. But check this out. Isn't this funny? Have literally tried to duplicate the efforts, even down to the furniture. That 70s style, oversized, crushed velvet blue couch. You got to be careful, people. People don't want to see you happy. I don't get it.
And that's right where the enemy comes in to kill. And he can't steal and destroy until he kills.
So you wanted the high-rise life. You even wanted the decor in my home. You wanted my whole marriage.
I just didn't want you to have it.
I don't get
I
people.
don't want your husband. I don't want your marriage.
And I'm very adamant about saying that. It's not about somebody wanting like me and Gayla. It's not about somebody like wanting him,
Right.
Mr. Puerto Real.
Right.
They just don't want the two of you together.
Because what is it that Fabulous said? We're a force when we're together.
Girl, I'm trying to be spiritual today, and you got me up here wanting to sing Fabulous.
You know, I'm just saying.
You know, I've never been quite the same since that. I'm just going to be real. I don't know how many people can relate to what I'm saying, that you can literally be living your best authentic life, minding your own business, staying in your own lane. You're not in nobody's business. You don't bother nobody. You are simply living, loving on yourself, your God, and your family. And people will go out of their way to try to cause harm to you or your relationship. And this is why I say we have to, this is 2021. The little petty stuff people did back in the 50s and the 60s to try to break couples up, that don't work no more. The enemy has advanced like technology. If you're not guarding your relationship almost to the extent that you would guard your home, you're ill-equipped. You are ill-equipped for the modern times that we live in.
Absolutely. So if you're out there and you are in a season of restoration,
again,
and alignment, be mindful of what the diva is speaking to you. Be mindful of protecting your relationship. Just be mindful of that. Restoration and alignment go hand in hand for many. And I hope that our listeners today, if there's somebody out there that needed to bring it all together, I hope that you have that aha moment of understanding what restoration is. We see so many words, we read, we watch TV, social media, and we just kind of skim over words without truly getting into the depth of restoration. Find your resting place and dwell in it. And dwell in that place. That is so important. How important is he or she to you that you just want to rest? Stop fighting and rest. You know, we all say, oh, life is short. I don't even believe that we believe life is short. I just believe that unintentionally we take life for granted. And the people in it.
I love that. Unintentionally, we're taking life for granted. You know what else alignment looks like? Miss Ivory. I know sometimes that when you are in the thick of things, as the old folk would say, that it's hard at times to keep that sexual, intimate connection with your partner.
Absolutely.
Let me tell you something. That is the enemy's. I think that is his most powerful weapon, is to break down your intimacy in the bedroom.
Talk to him, Diva.
And connecting with one another. I don't want to be crass, you know. I'm not a classless woman. But that's something you got to really understand, the importance of the two of you staying sexually connected and staying intimate in the bedroom. Like, okay, we're about to take care of one another because that is what we need to do. If this is the only thing that's going to keep us plugged in right now, until we get this thing right, then that's what we're going to do. We're going to release.
And you know, for you married folks, I am not married, but the diva is. Keep in mind that marriage and what's the word I'm looking for? I'm sorry, y'all. I lost it.
That's okay. You know, perfect people on the mic or in the audience.
When you refrain from sex, marriage and abstinence don't go together.
Oh, no.
You can't. You can't.
No.
That is not how you win your man and or woman. It is a narcissistic trait. Don't use sex to control anyone. Be mindful.
It's very manipulative.
It's very manipulative. It is out of alignment with not just God, but yourselves.
That's right.
Because God created husband and wife to be sexual beings for reproduction purposes. And when you're at the age of not being...
Loop that, baby. You need to loop that and say that again. I really mean that. God
created man and woman for the purpose to have sex reproductively. And when we miss the age of reproduction, we are still connecting and plugging in.
And the enemy
will come in all forms. Be mindful. Be mindful.
I don't know who probably needs to hear that, but tonight, or as soon as you're able to, for someone, it may be after you listen to this show, you go and make love to your partner.
Absolutely.
You go and make, and don't try to start a conversation before. You've been trying it. It doesn't work. Mm-hmm. But somebody out there needs to initiate reconnecting with your partner.
Find your resting place.
And find your resting place tonight. That could be the start of the two of you being vulnerable.
That's good, Diva.
Okay, being vulnerable enough to to usher in the atmosphere for a conversation and bring yourselves into alignment. Because as long as we two can connect, we are aligned. And if you can't agree to anything else, agree, I pray that it's possible. Agree that both of you want the relationship to get better than where you are. If you are in the season of chaos, if this is your season of being under attack, and you know what it is, you may be going through something. You may be saying, Diva, I'm going through hell right now. I can't tell nobody because I don't want folk in my business. I know exactly where you're coming from. I'm a very guarded woman. Extremely guarded. If you know something, it's because I told you.
Absolutely.
Nothing outside of that. So I get it with wanting to be private. So this was for you. This was for you. You deserve the love that you desire. And you can have it. I don't have all the answers. I never professed to know all the answers, and you don't either. But you know what? You can figure it out. As long as you wake up another day, you will rejoice. Because the God that you serve has allowed you another opportunity to get it right. You love this person. I know you do. I know you're probably constantly reliving the most happiest moments of your relationship, the good times when you used to, way back when. Hell, for some of you, it might have been just last week and the devil started attacking you within the last few days. But guess what?
It works quickly.
Your story is not over. Your story is not over. On the other side of this is a blessing. On the other side of this is your testimony. On the other side of this, is something wonderful. That power couple that people have been attempting to dismantle, destroy, will be a force to be reckoned with. But hear this, my friends, new levels also bring new devils. I've been posting all week about praying with your partner and in your marriage. I don't want to tell you what to do, but I'm going to tell you what to do. Make prayer a daily thing for the two of you to do together. It's got to start somewhere. I know you love him. I know. And it feels good to be in love, don't it? I'm talking to my lovers out there. Don't it feel good to be in love? Doesn't it feel so wonderful? Like if you're just doing your thing, whether you're out shopping or whether you're out washing the car, changing the oil, or whether you're at the office and you think about, babe, doesn't it feel so good to be in love? Doesn't it feel good for those of you who may not be married, but you live with someone? Doesn't it feel good to come home to somebody?
You better talk about it, baby.
I mean, doesn't it? I mean, you could be going through some sugar honey iced tea, and you know what? There may not be nary solution in sight, but the fact that you get to crawl up into bed with a person that you love, even if there's no intimacy that night, you get to fall asleep by the person that you love the most. Oh, don't take it for granted. I want you to think about that, especially for those of you who are fast like me. You just be thinking, you could be out ordering a pizza and you be like, what am I going to do to him when I see him? Yeah. If you feeling that type of way about the person that you're in a relationship with, you did not come across this particular episode by mistake. Nothing just happens.
Absolutely.
What do you think about Miss Ivory?
Absolutely. As you're talking to the people, it just brings me back to, while you're doing all the work, stay in your resting place.
They can't hear you.
Stay in your resting place. While you guys are doing all the work, stay in your resting place. As Diva said, she doesn't have all the answers. We don't claim to be marriage therapists, relationship
Not a therapist. No, God,
we
no.
ain't doing none of that. But we're talking from life experiences.
I'm a relatable
Yes.
woman.
Yes, you are.
I talk to people on any level.
Yes.
You don't have to have a bunch of alphabets behind your name to understand what I'm talking about.
Right.
People from any
walk of life
can tune into my show and enjoy it and take something away from it.
And ladies out there, get you a girlfriend that you can fall apart with.
Oh, here she go. Listen, here she go, guys.
Get you a girlfriend that you can fall apart with.
Okay, so
No
for those
judgment.
in the back that didn't hear her, she said, Miss Ivory K said, get you a girlfriend that you can fall apart with. You want to elaborate a little bit on that? What does that mean?
Having someone, many of you know that I'm a guest on the Diva show today, but what a lot of you don't know, for all of her thousands and thousands of followers, is that she is also a dear sister friend of mine. And she is
And I'm her boo thing. She don't know I'm saying this. I'm her boo thing. Like, I be that girl. Go ahead, Miss Ivory.
So, she is definitely one of my girlfriends where I can fall apart. And what I'm saying, ladies, is have a place that you can go to and just, hey, sis, you got a minute? You got room for this today? Because you want to make sure she got room for it too. She may not have room to take on y'all stuff. So ask your girlfriend first, be considerate, and allow yourself to fall apart, because we as women are always having to be strong mothers, and we own businesses and we work, and we're rising in corporate America. We're wives. We play so many roles, and as we get older, those roles multiply. We become grandmothers.
That is so true.
Things of that nature. You never really think about that, and if your generations keep going, you're a great grandmother. I've seen that in my own family. My mom is now a great grandmother. So women's jobs never stop. From whatever that adult, young teenage girl age to older adult woman, have you a girlfriend, a place, or one or two people that you can just fall apart. Because I fall apart with my sister. I fall apart. I will call her and I can be yelling, screaming, crying, etc.
Am I any different?
No.
Am I any different than what
None at all.
what I'm spewing on the mic. Am I any different in our personal time?
She's not. She is what you guys.
Actually, I may be. I'm far more spiritual. I talk more about God and our beliefs.
She does, but we are being sensitive to you all because everybody may not serve and worship the God that we do, and we're considerate of that. And whoever you serve and worship,
right?
That is your thing, and we respect that. But so she is. What you get, what you hear, is who she really is. And I'm not just saying that because she's my friend. I'm just letting you ladies know. Find your person. That's so important as you're going through a restoration period with your significant other. You need to find your person because restoration don't look as easy as it sounds.
It's not a pretty process.
It's not. Rest and restore sound easy, but it's not a pretty process. As you're going through restoration, it's going to be some head bumping and some, I can't believe this, such and such. It's going to happen. And if you don't have your fall apart place, because I don't mind being transparent enough to let y'all know that last week I told my sister I will never see him again. Man, if I don't cut it out, because today I told her I love him and we together. And she was like, well, okay then. I love him forever.
You literally.
Together
but you know what? I always say this. I say this on my Instagram. I made it a point to circulate that on all of my social media platforms. And that is Instagram handle is DivaSpeaks, the little _ official. Be a woman that other women can trust.
Absolutely. Say that again.
Okay. Diva. Be a woman that other women can trust. Now, let me say something. Now, I don't want to go here, but I'm going to go here. Some of you have given the enemy a key and access to your life because you've been knowing people for a long time.
Come on now.
I grew up with such and such, and I've been, you know what? That may be fine. I'm not saying make an enemy of anyone. But some people y'all keeping around, it's dead weight. Just because you're familiar with them. They're a familiar spirit. You know, that's how the demons attack people too. I'm on that paranormal stuff today. I need to start watching those shows. But it's a fact. They attack you because they come as a familiar spirit. And guess what they do afterwards? They attack you. They actually show you who they are. And by that time, they've already infiltrated. It's too late. Because some of you be giving your girlfriends access to your life, your private affairs. You wondering how some of your business is getting out there? That's just for you to think about. You have to be intentional with friendships and relationships these days if you're going to protect and preserve the one that matters.
Absolutely.
So, wait a minute. Class 1 Pro. This is worthy of me shouting out on the microphone. Okay, I'm moving to Florida for this, girl. Thanks. You're welcome, babe.
Go on and move.
If it made a difference to anybody,
go on and get your rest.
Go. That's right.
Y'all get in alignment and y'all make it do what it do, sis. You better go ahead.
You deserve the love that you desire. You deserve it.
Girl, get on to Florida, girl. Get on there.
Get a little nasty when you get there too.
Tell them the diva sent you.
I cannot stand. I'm not doing this with you. You know, guys, I hope that this has been beneficial and a source of encouragement to whomever may be going through something and you're entering into your season of restoration and you want it to work. You want to be successful because the two of you have been through hell. You've been through hell. And you're one of the fortunate ones that can say, but we're still here. We're still together. You don't have to just be together. You can restore happiness to the relationship.
Absolutely.
You can absolutely be happy. And remember, I want to close out on this point. Remember, guys, people have evolved. Not everybody hating to see the two of you together. Not every one of them want either one of you. The people hating on you the most don't even want you, don't even look at you or your man or your woman like that. They don't want either one of y'all. They just don't want the two of you to be together. You have a purpose. There's something powerful, magnetic about the two of you together that pisses people off. Your presence pisses people off. Your accomplishments makes them mad. Not only do you look good together, you make beautiful children together. You live a very nice life, comfortable lifestyle, or you just make it look easy. And they don't know how. Well, it's not their damn business how. Understand?
That part.
It's not about wanting either one of you, as long as the two of you ain't together. If you've enjoyed today's segment of DivaSpeaks Relationships, what alignment looks like in your relationship during your season of restoration, it is my hope that anybody under the sound of my voice whose relationship is in distress, it is my hope that you find comfort in the arms of one another, and that God continues to bless your relationship and may heaven smile upon you. I pray God's goodness over your life and over your relationship. And I pray that not only have you found your way back to one another, that you stay together. It is my hope that you will continue to work on your relationship. Make love a priority in your relationship. Make prayer a priority in your relationship. Staying together should be your commitment and your focus. You can do this. You got this. Everything that you need to pull this off, you got it. Because if you didn't have it, the enemy wouldn't be fighting you. And for those of you, let me tell you something. For those of you who may have called it quits on a relationship and now you're looking back and you said, Diva, I wish half of you should have had this show 2 months ago. It's not too late for you. What are you talking about? It's not too late for you. What I need you to do at the end of this show is go and get on your knees and pray to the God that you serve and align your actions and your efforts with your prayer requests. If you want that woman back that you lost over some foolishness and some mess, do what it takes to get it back. Include God, please. If you lost that man listening to whomever or acting out of selfishness, or not being considerate, not being grateful, it's not over totally. I want you to get your joy back. I want you to see that you can have a future. Learn from your mistakes and push forward, move forward. You too can have the love that you desire. So with all of that, I want to thank you for tuning in to DivaSpeaks Relationships on a soulful soul food Sunday. Guess what? Listen, here come the little bum Quisha. I've always wanted to be a bum Quisha. My mama always had to be so uppity. Listen. Listen, guys, DivaSpeaks Relationships is a talk show on like actual TV, like the TV, like, you know, your high definition television, your plasma, you know, all of that. Okay, so like every second and fourth Friday night, at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm on your TV. Like this coming Friday, I have a brand new episode, Is It For Sale? Can you guys tune in and support me? I'm asking. I'm being vulnerable right now. I'm human, just like you are. I want to see you guys support the Diva. You know, if you got some time, you can mark me on your calendars. Let's you and I meet. TV Access 21. If you have Spectrum Cable or AT&T Uverse or a Roku television, meet me, Access 21. You got to check your local listings to see what channel I'm going to pop up on. Now, for those of you who said, wait a minute, girl, you're doing too much. Okay, I got you too. Go to the television station's website and you can stream it live. It's live for you, but I already recorded the show and everything. I was cute. My lips were popping. Okay. Is It For Sale? This Friday night at 11 p.m. You can stream it live again from the television station's website, TV Access 21. And if all of that is too much, you know, you can find me a one-stop shop to the Diva, honey, my website, Diva, the little dash symbol, speaks, DivaSpeaks-official.com. All of my shows, after the station has aired my shows, I embed the videos on my website. Or you can just stay on TV Access 21 and click on the video on demand section, honey. You can catch up on all the tea, honey. I got the pastors over there at that station mad. They want to get me up off the station. The enemy. Because my first show was illicit affairs, sex scandals, and pimps in the pulpit. What in the hell is going on with church culture? That was my very first show. I taped it at the TV station and got everybody's panties in a bunch. Well, I don't mean no disrespect. I was simply talking on some things that, we see in the media, whatever. So much love to everybody. You guys, you gonna meet me on Friday night? Can we have a watch party moving forward? I just renewed my contract with the station for the spring season. So until Friday night, you can find me on social media. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. If you want to email me, DivaSpeaksOfficial@gmail.com. Got something you want to talk about? I keep secrets. I do. We can talk about it, but I want you to remain encouraged. We got this, right, guys? We got this. We got this. Much love, you beautiful, beautiful, beautiful souls. The Diva and Miss Ivory K. The spoken. Good night, guys.